Ever wonder how high-value women over 60 keep evolving, glowing, and at peace, while others feel stuck? The secret isn't in what they chase, it's in what they release. Today, you'll discover the 5 things they quietly remove from their lives to rise higher, feel lighter, and live with quiet elegance. Welcome to my Senior Health Tips, your gentle space for graceful aging, quiet luxury, and living each day with more ease, intention, and self-respect. If you're a woman over 60 who's ready to let go of what no longer serves you, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll walk through 5 specific things that high-value women gracefully remove from their lives. These aren't just physical items, they're habits, mindsets, and emotional clutter that quietly hold us back. By the end, you'll see how making small shifts can lead to more peace, more freedom, and a version of you that feels lighter and more aligned. If that sounds like the kind of journey you're ready for, go ahead and tap subscribe. Here, we share weekly insights for women who are done shrinking and are now stepping into their soft power, one elegant step at a time. Tip 1. Cluttered wardrobes that no longer reflect her identity. A high-value woman over 60 knows that her wardrobe is more than just fabric. It's a reflection of who she is today, not who she used to be. She no longer holds on to clothes that don't fit, not just physically, but energetically. That dress from a decade ago that clings in the wrong places, the fast fashion piece she bought on impulse, the shoes that hurt her feet but were too pretty to toss. All of it becomes clutter, not clothing. She's not dressing to impress the world. She's dressing to express her values: simplicity, comfort, timeless beauty. She lets go of trends that don't serve her. She releases sizes that no longer define her worth. She says goodbye to the pressure to look young, and instead chooses to look like herself, confident, refined, and fully present. You'll often find her wardrobe has space to breathe, clean lines, soft fabrics, neutral tones. Not because she lacks options, but because she's made a choice to curate. This isn't about minimalism for aesthetics. It's about emotional clarity. Because every time she opens her closet, she doesn't want to feel guilty, or nostalgic, or burdened. She wants to feel aligned. And alignment starts with asking one powerful question: does this still represent the woman I am becoming? If the answer is no, she lets it go, with love. Asterisk. Tip 2. Relationships that drain her peace. After 60, peace becomes more than a luxury, it becomes a necessity. A high-value woman doesn't cling to relationships just because of history, obligation, or shared last names. She gently but firmly releases guilt-based friendships, unbalanced conversations, and family patterns that have drained her for far too long. She's no longer interested in pleasing people at the expense of her own well-being. She understands that emotional clutter is just as heavy as physical clutter, and sometimes even more toxic. That friend who only calls to complain. That sibling who still treats her like the version of herself she outgrew decades ago. That group text that leaves her feeling small, criticized, or invisible. She steps away, not with anger, but with intention. Because peace, at this stage in life, is non-negotiable. This doesn't mean she isolates. In fact, the opposite. She makes space for real connection, soft, reciprocal relationships that nourish her spirit and meet her where she is now. She knows the value of a shared laugh over tea, a deep conversation with someone who truly listens, and the stillness that comes from protecting her own energy. And above all, she understands this simple truth. Boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to peace. By saying no to what hurts, she's saying yes to what heals. Asterisk. Tip 3. Outdated beauty products and routines. A high-value woman over 60 isn't chasing youth, she's embracing radiance. And part of that radiance comes from knowing what to let go of, including the outdated beauty products and routines that once promised miracles but never delivered peace. She no longer needs a dozen serums claiming to erase every wrinkle or creams designed to make her look like someone she no longer wants to be. She's not interested in hiding her age, she's interested in honoring it. The cluttered vanity of the past, full of half-used jars, expired powders, and impulse purchases, becomes a symbol of noise. Noise she's ready to quiet. So she clears the space. She keeps what truly serves her: gentle cleansers, nourishing oils, maybe a favorite lipstick that feels like home. Her skincare becomes a ritual, not a routine. A way of saying, I deserve care, not correction. Her mornings are slower now. She touches her skin with kindness. She looks in the mirror and sees not flaws to fix, but a face that has lived. And with that shift, beauty becomes less about masking and more about revealing. She glows, not because she's trying to look younger, but because she's no longer trying at all. There's freedom in simplicity. There's confidence in clarity. And there's grace in letting go of what no longer aligns with how she sees herself. Because at this stage in life, she knows. Less noise. More glow. Asterisk. Tip 4. Guilt about prior choices or missed chances. By the time a woman reaches 60, she carries more than memories, she carries choices. Some she's proud of. Others, still whisper in quiet moments. But here's the truth, a high-value woman doesn't replay regrets like an old song. She reframes them. She knows her past isn't something to erase, it's something to learn from. To soften into. To grow through. Those missed chances? They taught her to listen to her intuition. That relationship she stayed in too long? It taught her the depth of her capacity to love, and the importance of loving herself more. That career she didn't chase? It taught her that fulfillment isn't always about titles, it's about alignment. She releases the weight of what could have been and embraces the beauty of what still can be. Instead of asking, why didn't I? She now asks, what can I do now? She flips through old photo albums with a smile, not a sigh. She walks through old places with gratitude, not grief. And when old guilt tries to return, she meets it with this quiet mantra. I did the best I could, with what I knew, who I was, and what I had. Because guilt is a heavy suitcase. And a high-value woman is traveling light. She knows peace doesn't come from rewriting the past. It comes from releasing it. And above all, she chooses to live forward, not backward. Tip 5. The need to please everyone. One of the quietest, most powerful shifts a high-value woman makes after 60 is the choice to stop pleasing everyone. She no longer bends herself to make others comfortable. She doesn't say yes out of guilt. She doesn't explain her no with paragraphs. Because she's learned, often the hard way, that saying yes to everyone else usually means saying no to herself. She honors her energy now. She protects her peace like fine china. She chooses her commitments carefully, not out of obligation but out of alignment. Elegance, at this stage in life, isn't about perfection, it's about boundaries. She walks alone in nature and doesn't feel lonely. She paints for herself, not for praise. She sits quietly in a cafe, sipping her tea, fully content in her own company. She doesn't need everyone to understand her choices, only to respect them. And if they don't, she doesn't chase validation. Because she no longer confuses being kind with being available to everyone all the time. Her no is now sacred. Her calendar is no longer a to-do list for others. And when she says yes, it's a full, free, joyful yes. Not one laced with resentment or self-abandonment. She's learned that inner peace and outer people-pleasing rarely coexist. So she chooses herself, not selfishly, but sovereignly. Because she knows. Pleasing everyone means betraying herself, and she's done with that. What's one thing you said yes to, that you wish you hadn't? Now imagine the power of saying no, without apology. Which of these are you most ready to release? A habit, a belief, an object, a pressure? Let me know in the comments. I read each one with care, and it's a joy to walk this journey beside you. And if you're creating space for ease, grace, and soft power in your life, this is your place. Tap subscribe and join a growing circle of women who are living with more clarity, more calm, and more intention every single week. Because your next chapter doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It only needs to be yours. Your voice matters here. Leave a comment, and take one small step toward emotional freedom today. We don't rise by rushing, we rise by releasing.